Good afternoon. My name is Anna Chrisman, and I am currently a sophomore here at Liberty University Online. I'm currently majoring in psychology with an emphasis in Christian counseling, and I plan to graduate in December of 2025. I'm actually thinking about switching my major, however, to just general psychology, but add a minor in autism studies because I'm not sure of what career paths I want to take yet. But while I am undecided of which path to take within the realm of psychology, whether that is clinical counseling psychology or applied behavioral analysis, I do know that I want to earn my master's degree. And that is my next step after I earn my bachelor's. And hopefully, I can earn my master's while simultaneously having an internship or an entry level job in a psychology, a counseling clinic, or in an ABA clinic. When I decide, hopefully soon, which path I want to take, I will then adjust my major and take the necessary steps to do that so that it better aligns with my career choices. Moving on, growing up, I I grew up in church and I consistently looked at the world through a biblical worldview. I have, over the last few years, taken up an interest in the relationship between psychoanalysis and pharmacological treatments and Christianity. While some modern researchers and scientists don't believe that spirituality and science can coexist, I believe that they do, which is why I wanted to introduce the question of whether Christians respond to therapy treatments differently than non religious individuals, considering Christians carry such strong values of faith, hope, and trust in God. A few weeks ago, I had the opportunity to do an assignment where I could look through the Liberty Jerry Falwell Library and conduct some research searches, and then take the take the information and then apply it to my proposed question, also called a literature review. In the Neural Correlates of Healing Prayers, Depression and Traumatic Memories, a preliminary study, it mainly focuses on research conducted on a group of Christian individuals who struggled with depression. The subjects underwent functional MRI before and after undergoing a 6-week-long treatment of healing prayers. They additionally received a 12-month follow-up where they were assessed once more. They actually discovered a decline in HAM-D scores or depression levels and a steady level of spirituality, which suggested that their faith was strong. This study relates to my question. However, this mode of treatment is different than the one I was envisioning, which was a therapeutic or medical approach. Instead, this is actually spiritual therapy on Christian individuals, not Christian individuals responding to regular general therapy. However, moving on to the satisfaction with Christian psychotherapy and well-being study, the authors reveal that it is not the way in which individuals undergo therapy, for example, patient satisfaction and success rates in Christian counseling versus regular general secular counseling. Those do not vary greatly. However, they do see instances of patient satisfaction, success, and levels of hope in those who are already spiritual. They describe spirituality as being close to the sacred, being part of a congregation of faith. This study focuses on the individual receiving the treatment, unlike the previous study where it focuses on the treatment on the individual that was investigated. This study relates to and even supports my proposed question. For this particular study, I would want to combine the exploratory approaches of qualitative research and also the comparative approaches of quantitative methods. I would choose a pre-test, post-test, or A-B designs. which would be the quantitative method, and phenomenology, which would be the qualitative. The A-B research design is a method of research where measurements are taken both before and after measurements are taken on the subject both before and after they undergo the same treatments or independent variables, which is also a characteristic of within subject research designs. I would not only want to assess their results numerically, but I would desire to study how they live and how they experience things on a smaller, more inward level, which would be the phenomenology part of the study. But there are some strengths and limitations to these methods of study, and some advantages to using the pre-test, post-test method can show what Dr. Crawford discusses as, quote, practical significance between variables, unquote. Additionally, because the participants might be hard to come by, as in selecting them from different religions, Christians and non-religious, but I would still want the subjects to have similar experiences and backgrounds. So culturally, I would pick from the same cultural background, the same economic background, and I would maybe even pick and choose my subjects from even the same workplace or position career-wise, just so that there is some level of commonality between subjects, but that they differ greatly in their religious opinions and beliefs. And thankfully, pre-test, post-test methods do not need large sample sizes. They're not necessarily always needed. So that would be a great strength because it might be hard, again, for me to come by the specific subjects that I need. Some limitations would be that participants could drop out of the study and thus create the problem of attrition. They might not want to undergo all of the treatment, or they might want to find a different counselor or add medication, which is not, a part of the study. So that is definitely a concern. But another strength regarding the phenomenological approaches would be just to present the findings in a more holistic manner, studying a person's experiences, and then the results would find deeper issues. Because it is so personalized, however, this is another limitation. It could lean too far on the subjective end of results, which is a disadvantage to qualitative research methodologies. On the subject of reliability and validity, the pre-test, post-test design can really ensure reliability because it actually takes measurements on separate occasions, which is similar to the retest method of confirming reliable findings. Internal validity might be difficult to establish because of all that takes place in a person's life. Subjects might experience issues outside of the experimental realm, thus causing their results to be skewed and inaccurate. Concerning the phenomenological approaches, reliability might be hard to establish because, again, the findings are so personal and subjective, and it can be difficult to generalize to broader populations or other sample sizes. Next, I want to talk about data collection and how I would go through with that. So to begin the process of data collection, we would want to first define our variables, then conduct a pre-test, administer the independent variable, conduct a post-test, analyze outcomes, and then finally, perhaps conduct the qualitative interview at the end. To define our variables, we must look at who or what is being tested on and what is causing the change or reaction within the group or population that is being tested. Therefore, in this study, the dependent variable would be the levels of depression in groups of Christians and levels of depression in groups of non-religious individuals. Again, these individuals would be taken from similar areas of life and backgrounds, but differences in religion. The independent variable would then be the psychoanalytical therapy conducted by the same therapist, which is very important. Other participants would be exposed to what Crawford describes in his Within Subjects Designs presentation as the same level of treatment and the same independent variable. To pre-test the individuals is very important because we need a baseline. It is crucial to have a baseline of information for this type of experiment. I will want to use a standardized scale such as the HAM-D scale or the BDI-2 to measure the severity of the participants' depression, like in the Healing Prayers study mentioned earlier. Next, I would want to administer the therapy. The independent variable would be administered onto the research subjects. These individuals would hopefully undergo this treatment for 6 months. This is where I would be concerned about the threat of attrition, specifically in this part of the study. After they undergo the 6 weeks of treatment, I would want to run an additional test with the same measurement tool to ensure that there is reliability within the measurement of data. I would once again use the HAM-D or BDI-2 scale to assess their levels of depression. Next, we have to analyze the data. After testing the therapeutic treatments, I would want to look at each person's scores to see if there is any pattern or trend among each group of subjects. I would want to look and see if each group, whether Christian or non-religious, has lower levels of depression after the allotted time. Additionally, I would want to see if one group has better results than the other. Better results such as lower levels of depression or faster emotional healing times. Then I would want to be able to draw conclusions and hopefully create generalizable findings. However, my goal is not to prove anything. I would want to end on a qualitative note to really wrap things up. While qualitative research usually precedes quantitative methods, I actually would reverse this and conduct a qualitative phenomenological interview afterwards. I would ask questions regarding how they think their personal inner experiences regarding religion or the lack of religion have shaped their experience of undergoing the said therapeutic treatments. In this way, then, I do not just have numbers on paper, but I also have personalized data that looks at the deeper issues, especially of the heart. To review, I am studying the possibility of Christians responding to therapy treatments differently or better than non-religious individuals, considering they carry values of hope, faith, and trust in God. To examine this relationship, I would combine quantitative methods and qualitative methods, like the phenomenological approach, in the interview. Once again, it could be difficult in finding participants who vary in religious beliefs, but are similar otherwise in background and areas of life. There definitely is a possibility of attrition and participants dropping out due to the length of the study. But hopefully there would be ample patient satisfaction in their improvements, and that this would not be a concern. Lastly, this study approach combines two very important methods in studying human behavior, motivations, and outcomes. Hopefully by using standardized testing alongside personalized, raw, and individual stories, I could establish strong connections between my variables.